All right, guys, Semen episode back once again with yet another video. Today I'm going to talk about semen retention, man. We're going to go deep into semen retention, and I want to talk about mainly how dangerous of a practice semen retention truly is, right? Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to get into it right now, right? Semen retention, we all know what it is. For the people that don't know, saving your energy, you're not releasing, you're staying celibate, you're abstinent, you're not looking at adult film content, you're not being lascivious. In your mind, there are no entertainment of lascivious, licentious thoughts. You are not thinking of anything perverted, you are living your life. And when it does happen, because you are a human being trapped in this three-dimensional space, right, where your subconscious, your nervous system, which is the inner adversary, which is synonymous with Satan, is going to tempt you by being conditioned by the world, by the lewd things of the world, to cause you to identify with the world through release, through masturbation, through fornication. Semen retention is understanding this and choosing not to do it anyway. That is it. We understand semen retention, we understand the practice. Now, the reason why I say it's dangerous is because the enlightenment that you are going to go through long bouts of this practice is mind destroying, it's mind warping, it's psyche rupturing. Like, this is what it is. I see a lot of videos on semen retention. No Nut November, no FAP, all of these movements that ultimately signal to being celibate, saving your energy, and not giving it out. The spreading of this information has been super ubiquitous all over the internet, all over social media, and that's great. It's wonderful to enlighten men about their most vital essence. It is due to this energy why we are living in a civilized society right now. We have streets, we have rules for streets, we have laws in societies, in civilizations, we have innovations to architecture, we have innovations towards arts, everything. It is due to the proper utilization of this energy by a select few, by the way, right? Whether they were groomed and conditioned to fulfill their gifts due to finding out about semen retention, that is for another topic. But for the most part, semen retention is the gas and the fuel behind all of society, every single last one. And it's dangerous because all of this, spreading of this information is dangerous because a lot of people are getting into semen retention due to the reasons that a lot of people have been speaking about through social media, through the internet, right? You can get more girls because you're keeping your seed in you, and there's all this attraction, and you could change your life, and you could do this and do that, and it's all superficial reasons, all surface level reasons as to why people, men, should get into this practice. And men, we have this whole thing now where there's been a huge disparity between men and women in terms of education, in terms of finances, in terms of points of view, political leanings, all of that. And so the disparity between men and women in all of those aforementioned categories have never been as far and separate as it is now in history at all. And so there's a lot of men that have not interacted with women, and they go into these practices of semen retention manipulated by these men that heard about semen retention and practice it only for a little. They have not explored months into the practice. They don't understand anything truly about what semen retention actually does to the individual that harbors that energy. They have no idea. They tried it for a couple days, they get the girls, and then they continue doing their heathen, degenerate behavior. These men, these young boys that get into semen retention, being manipulated by these freaks, they get into it, and then they're doing well. They get the female attention, but it doesn't last. Things change. There's a lot of ebbs and flows because it's energy. It's moving energy. It's not static at all. So one day you're gonna feel like this, another day you're gonna feel like this, and a lot of people are not understanding that there's so many levels with semen retention. You have to understand exactly how to filter the information in the world. You have to also understand that when you look at, it's not just the mere practice of not releasing, but you can still lust in your mind. You have to learn how to eradicate lust as much as possible in the mind, creating that aqueduct that I always say of filtering the lewd things of the world and having it go out whence it came. They don't learn this stuff. And there are some men also, right, and some boys that go deep on the practice. They learn how to create that aqueduct. They don't release, they don't edge, they don't fornicate, and then suddenly their lives have taken a different trajectory. They start to get into the Bible, esoteric information. They start to try to understand the Krishna. They start to try to understand the Trimurti, Vishnu, Brahman, Shiva, their journeys. They try to understand Jesus Christ. They try to understand the Buddha. They try to understand all of these things. They get into this information, and then they learn more. And then all the while, they're staying on semen retention, and their minds are being warped. Their reality is being warped. Their psyche is being ripped to shreds. Everything from their past is being ripped apart. And so the way that they interacted with the world prior to semen retention does not exist anymore. How you used to go up to women and speak to them in a suave manner, and then they used to get, want to connect with you and network with you, it doesn't work anymore. Your energy is completely different. You've gone through a rebirth. When you are on semen retention for a long period of time, when you are celibate for a long period of time, there's a renewal of your life force. There's a renewal of your blood. You are gone through a rebirth. Everything that used to work for you in the past no longer works. Where you used to have group vacations with the boys, they don't want to hang out with you anymore because your light is making them very, very uncomfortable, whether it's bringing up feelings of envy in them, whether it's bringing up feelings of negativity, aggression, intimidation, manipulation, exploitation, whatever it is, it doesn't make them feel comfortable, and they do not feel inclined any longer to try to connect with you. And what that does to individuals without pillars of mind, where you are accepting ultimately those pillars in the mind are formed through just a sheer acceptance of the objective reality and what that means. A lot of us are getting into this practice. We're doing really well at the practice, which makes me incredibly proud, but we don't have pillars of mind, and so we succumb to the effects of the rebirth that comes about through semen retention. And it's so dangerous because it leads to so much self-harm, physically, mentally. You start to belittle yourself. You start to identify with what the people in the world are telling you about yourself or what they make you believe. You are small. Your energy is useless. Your light, it means nothing. God is a lie. Why are you doing this? Drink once in a while. Smoke once in a while. Be degenerate once in a while. And you are fighting not only against the world, you're fighting against that nervous system that's being conditioned by their constant nagging and telling you and prodding you and criticizing your new rebirth life through semen retention. You're fighting against so many forces, and you have no help, you have no support. You know what that does to men? Do you know what this does to individuals? It's insane, and I'm gonna tell you, I speak passionately about it because I'm going through it. I've went through it. I have no friends. I have no family, and I chose to do this because the more I stayed around them, I understood more and more about this negative, dark nature about them. They were very manipulative. They like to make you feel small. They tell you things about how they view life, which is of a physical basis nature. It's not real. It's not true. Well, it's true to them, but it's not how things really work. They delude you about God, how you should believe in God, how you should take spirituality. And you realize that they put you in social situations where they're trying to take that energy from you, where they belittle you, or they exalt you, they give you compliments, and then they shut you down, or they have a whole bunch of people try to humiliate you. Like, this is how the world works. And I'm glad I learned about semen retention. It hurts a lot sometimes. That's why I journal a lot. I am alone a lot, and it's fine because it's better than being blind in a world where I'm just partaking in this energy harvesting situation where I'm just giving up my energy constantly. Semen retention is I want to tell you guys again and again, this practice is so dangerous, and you need to have pillars of mind. Being plucked out of a life where you had a whole bunch of friends, you're playing basketball, you're playing your sports, you live your life, you heard about God, but you don't really know anything about the Bible, and then you're plucked into now semen retention, celibacy for long periods of time. You know God and you have an intimate relationship. You pray, you've been writing a lot. And then in your prayers, you're starting to beg. The days are going to be long. It's just going to be nothing. People are going to try to be aggressive to you for no reason. Inside the workplace, outside the workplace, in school, outside of school, in your place of rest, outside your place of rest. You're going to be begging God for moments respite, for a break from this. You're going to wish that you were never born. You're going to cast blasphemies at God. And I'm going to be honest, those are not the right things to do. Absolutely not. But I did it in the beginning of this journey. Like when I was around 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, I was so angry, I was so sad. I had so much despair and sorrow because I had no one to talk to. I had no one that I could express myself with. And I was just alone constantly. I hated God. I hated my life. I hated everything about me. I hated that I learned about semen retention. I hated that I met who I met in the past. I hated everything. I had so much sadness and despair in me. And I still stuck to semen retention. I still apologized the day after to God through prayer. I was constantly trying to wish that my steps were corrected. Constantly. I prayed so much. And I say this the way I do because I've been getting a lot of comments on my videos, and I've been getting some emails too about young men complaining, saying the same things that I've been saying. They're like, I've been on the practice for 4 months and these are the experiences that I had. I wish I were never born. I wish that I never returned to this place. I wish I never I learned about semen retention. I wish I never went to that woman of the night. I wish I never had lust. I wish I never felt anything for anyone else. I wish I never had to talk to a woman ever again. I wish I never had family. Like the things that I'm hearing via email, via the comment section is absolutely insane. It's like I'm telling you, this semen retention practice is so dangerous to people that are not grounded in life. Like you have to have those pillars of mind. You have to read. You have to be able to be confident. Without confidence, without self-esteem, this practice is going to uplift you and rip you apart. Stay on the practice of semen retention, but you need to bolster yourself. You're not going to get help from any of these people at all. The men are going to try to dupe you. I keep saying this all the time. They wear the chains, they wear the beads because they're trying to lie about where they are on their levels of semen of energy control. They join in secret societies so they don't have to deal with what we're dealing with. That's why they join secret societies. They are Freemasons so they could do things with children, so they could usurp the ways that we are doing with semen retention, which is going through the forest, going up the mountain. This is why Freemasons exist. This is why these number worshipers exist. This is why they do what they do, because they don't want to go through what we're going through. They don't. You think Satan and his minions, the 13 worshipers, the 7 worshipers, the 12 worshipers are doing what we're doing on semen retention? You think that they complain about their journeys of semen retention or energy control like we are, where you are so distraught that you feel like you did not ever want to be born? Like you're praying to God that you are removed from the planet. Like, do you understand? They don't do this. They worship, they make invocations to demons. They harvest adrenochrome and energy from people, from children. They live their lives without any complaints. They indulge. They get everything that they desire. I'm telling you, this is what it is. So this video again, I'm speaking so much. I want you guys to understand that you are not alone. Please do not be dismayed. Do not be crestfallen. Do not let the fire in your hearts go out. Semen retention is such a great practice. It's a beautiful practice, and it has taught you so much about yourself. It has taught you so much about the world. Do not feel dismayed that you are alone. You have no one to talk to. The therapist can't help you. The psychologist can't help you. Your older brother can't help you any longer. Your older sister can't help you. Your parents can't help you. You have no friends. It is fine. It is fine. You can do anything you want on your own. You don't need this world. You don't need any of it. You don't need to identify with their customs. You don't need to drink and destroy your body. You don't need to be taken onto secret societies and make pledges upon their demons and their gods that are made of stone and gold, whose very existence is a blaspheme against the Most High, just to avoid loneliness, just to avoid doing the true work to be a real individual, to be an accomplished individual. Semen retention is dangerous, but it is the most metamorphic practice that you will ever undertake in your life. There is nothing that you will go through ever after this point, after that point of mastering semen retention, that is equivalent to that practice. The people of the world are going to hate you. There's a light in you now. You have gone through a rebirth. Your blood has changed. Your mindset has completely done a 180. The world is going to hate you. There's no support. Do not be afraid. Pray and journal, and you will get through it. And with that being said, that is all I have to say about this topic tonight, man. I hope you guys enjoyed that kind of content. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, share the video with some peers. Do not ever, 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 ever let this place get you down. This practice is dangerous in so many fronts because it drags you from an individual that lusts all the time and found semen retention as a way to fulfill your lust by augmenting your attraction to the other sex, to completely going through a metamorphosis of your entire life, learning about God, learning about Jesus Christ, learning about the apostles, learning about the prophets, and understanding what exactly they were trying to say and what they were trying to teach us, and what they are ultimately talking about in regards to human nature, right? And having a divine origin, having a God to pray to that will grant desires when you follow precepts and laws. You're gonna learn so much about yourself. You're gonna learn so much about your history. You're going to go through a lot of different feelings of hate, disgust, love, euphoria, absolute joy, happiness, sadness, malaise, everything, all the spectrums. You will feel it on full degree. You will have no help, no support. Stay strong, gentlemen. I love you all. Stay radiant. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Woo!